There we go. So for those that do not know me, my name is Chante Oduwole. As I said earlier, so some people do say Oduwole, it's actually Oduwole. I'm a wife and mother of 3, also a platinum leader here at IM Mastery Academy, also part of AME Finance Academy, and actually a former secondary and sixth form teacher, owner of a nursery daycare here based in Basildon, which were voted Basildon Business Award finalists in 2020, and an educationist and investment property owner. Alongside this, I am also a school governor and a Business for Homes recommended distributor. So today I'm going to kind of be taking you through Liberty, explaining how it works, how you can, I did say last week, if you were on the training session, if you have attempted to take a few trades and, you've tried, or, you're not quite too sure in terms of marking up or anything else that you might need to do, then this is the session to kind of send me a message directly. But it's great to kind of just put it out there for the whole platform, because I'm sure there'll always be someone that wants to know the same question as you as well. Okay, so explaining what HFX is. So as you know, that HFX is the main high frequency package which we have here, but there are also other elements to the IM Mastery Academy, such as the traditional Forex Academy, DCX. And if you've been on any of Des's sessions, which he does on Monday evenings at 9:30, this talks about leveraging with the cryptocurrency aspect of the academy. And then lastly, we have the ECX Academy, which is to do with e-commerce and dropshipping. Okay, so what is HFX? So HFX is high frequency trading. So how this is, is similar to the traditional foreign exchange market. You're still participating in the same foreign exchange market, just in different ways. So for example, the traditional Forex market, you are going in based on a position. So you want to get in at a good point and take that in for a buy or take that in for a sell. Whereas with high frequency trading, you are going in specifically for however set minutes. So it could be 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, and so on and so forth. You also have a fixed percentage. So if you were to put down £10, you always know how much you're putting down. So how much you're willing to risk. And you also know how much you are actually able to profit from by the end of that trade. Okay, so that's because they have fixed percentages. So if I put down £10 and my payout rate is 70%, it then means my payout rate in total is £17, because I get what I've staked in terms of what I've risked and my profit back as well. Okay, and you enter this market based on forecasting currencies. So you are making money whether or not you're buying, and you're making money whether or not you are selling. You just need to make sure you're going in the right direction as the market. So to take you through to where you can access this, so all of you should have accessed IM Center. This is for those that are completely new on board. Okay, so you have the im.center. Okay, in the im.center, this is where you can access everything. So that includes your foundational educational videos. And what I like to describe this as is this is the basic understanding. So this is the kind of foundational understanding in terms of terminology. So for example, if I were to ask you what sessions are being traded or how many trading sessions are there, you would find this is here under the academy. So it takes you through. So it says, what is HFX? What is traded, trading times, brokers, currency pairs. So some people don't know what JPY is. This is where you get that foundational understanding to starting this journey. Okay. And then if you're not going into academies, the next area, which is very, very beneficial, and I'm hoping that all of you are plugged into, is the Go Live sessions, which is where you have access to those 6- and 7-figure educators that have made it work. So this is our proof. So you can see that we've got a few live educators on, but you normally see that this is your proof as to what they have been able to do. Okay, they have been employed by IM Mastery Academy to give us trades. So all we need to do is kind of come in and copy from them. Don't know why I'm unable to log into Go Live right now. I'm hoping this doesn't throw me out. There we go. Okay, so you can see we've got Matthew Thayer, we've got Millie Mills, Taylor Marks, DL Woods, and Nez Vaquez as well. So you can choose out. These are our top 5, and this changes every single week. And if you can see the views, this is something I posted earlier today on my Instagram. You can see that is like 382,000 plus views just for Matthew Thayer. Matthew Thayer is the one that we've, we use as our great example, that he was able to turn $500 into over 13 million. And funnily enough, at the beginning of April, he has started this challenge again, and he started it from $1,000. So, he's already built that up. So if you haven't joined in, and if you're not plugging in, I know he's on at 4 a.m. in the morning. Okay, he is on at 4 a.m. in the morning. However, Fridays he's on at 6:30. So it's a great opportunity to kind of get involved if you are not already involved. If you are looking to take your account to 5 figures, 6 figures, guess what? You need to sacrifice the time. Sacrifice the time so you can grow your account with Matthew Thayer. Millie Mills, another amazing educator that you can trade with, along with many others. Okay, so this is your main area that you will be accessing to trade with other educators. I did send this in last week, so I know we have a schedule. So I have one specifically for my team, which I've shared, because most of the times on Go Live are in American time. So what I've done is kindly converted it to the UK time. I've even added in our own homegrown April Lee session in here. April Lee does the lunch club Tuesday to Thursday, where you can hop on for 30 minutes, make your money and bounce, So this is a great opportunity to kind of get involved. I will send that into the chat box towards the end if someone can remind me to do so. Okay, so let's go back to the IM Center where I was originally. So that I can show you how to access everything. So we've gone to Go Live, I've shown you academies, and then you obviously have strategies. Now, this is a good way of accessing everything, because everything's all in one place. You just click strategies, scroll down, and you can see you've got HFX, and you can select Liberty, which is here. If you do not want to go through the IM Center, all you have to do in the web address is type in Goliberty.im, and it will open up the scanner for you, like you can see here. Okay, so to take you through what we did last week, if you did have any questions for me, put that in the chat box so that I can look at that while I'm taking the session and scroll back. So looking at the right side panel, you can see that we have a range of different currency pairs. So we've got the GBP USD. So that's the Great British Pound against the dollar. If I scroll down, also you've got the Australian dollar against the dollar, and so on and so forth. All of these currency pairs that you see me scrolling past, okay, they have all been cherry picked by this algorithm scanner. So this is scanning the market all the time and then calling out trades of where there may be good opportunities for buys or sells, or areas of consolidation, or areas to make a profit. Now, there may be a small period, it could be a long period. It just depends on the day, the currency pair, and the time. Okay, so as I said last week, we always do our marking up in 1 hour. Okay, so I was actually on a session with a good friend of mine yesterday, and I was actually giving a short tip, because I realized this is something that I do, but I haven't actually said. So we always do our marking up in 1 hour. Okay. However, you don't want to start doing your marking up straight away in the 1 hour and then get to the 5-minute time frame, which is where you take your trade, and then realize it's not even a good trade to take anyway. So a good tip, which I realized, is to actually drop to the 5 minutes, look to see if it's a good trade, based on all your confirmations. And if it is, then do your marking ups from the 1 hour, 15 minutes, and then take your trade from the 5 minutes. So if that makes sense to you, drop some ones in the chat box so I know that you are following and I'm not confusing anyone. So drop some ones in the chat box. Fantastic. Great. Fabulous. Okay, so as you can see here, I can see that this is gone up in a uptrend. This could be a pullback. You would only know if this is going to be a pullback or not, depending on if this moves through the cloud. You do not want to take trades when it's called for a buy and it's moving downwards through the clouds, because that could be a sign of reversal. This area that we can see, this may pull back all the way down to our lower zone, which you can see right here where I've hovered, and then continue on an uptrend. But it's important that you are only going in opportunities where you've got good confirmation. Okay, so I'm going to go and find one that has one so I can kind of just give you an example. Let's click to where price currently is. Okay, so this one is on 5 minutes. I would say this is a good setup. Why is this a good setup? For me, one, it's underneath the red cloud. So red cloud means a sell. It's also got the web strings spread out nicely. So let me just try and zoom in a bit more. Okay, so the web strings are spread out nicely. So that's my second indication. And also you can see that it's pulling up, which is our last higher high that we had, and it's going in for a sell. So if this were me, I could probably, let's see, it's got 1 minute, 34 seconds, because this is the timer. I'm sure everyone can see this timer where I'm circling now is counting down. So I would want to go in for a sell. You can take this if you want to, by the way, while I'm explaining, and go in for a 10-minute trade at 679. It may be different on your broker, but let me just line this up. So what I'm going to quickly do is just go to my 1 hour chart, because I can see that this will pull up to that area. And then as you can see, you've got this little arrow. Okay, so you've got this little arrow here. You can click horizontal ray or horizontal line, either of the two. You just change the color and the thickness so that you can get in at the right point. So I'm going to line this up here. Why? Because it rejected off this zone before it broke through, retested, and continued on the downtrend. Okay, so I did say 679. That is on the last wick of this area. If I wanted to go by the body, it'd be around here, okay, which is the last on the 1 hour. This is the last area that it rejected off. So 675, 679. So I'm going to put those two zones in. And as I said, you can go in for 10 minutes on that trade. Okay, so I've marked that up. I'm just doing this really quickly for you, for those that may want to take that trade. Okay, so we're going to wait for this. You could either wait for 679. We're only going to wait to see what happens after the candle closes, and we drop down to 5 minutes. Okay, so if this closes, this blue candle that we see, if this candle closes inside this line, then our next area for a sell will be this area here, which is the 699 area. Okay, and the reason why is because although this is rejected off this area, like price does not continue returning to the same area over and over again. At some point, it will break through and go to the last high, which we can see marked up in the 1 hour was at 699. That would only be valid, this area would only be valid if this candle closes inside here. And as we can see, we've got a red candle appearing, which means it's going in for a sell. Okay, so as long as this finishes here, we'd be fine. Okay, as I was, if you did go onto your broker and take that trade, let me know. Yes, 10-minute sell, Rikia. 10-minute sell if you did get in at 679. If you did get in on a trade quickly, drop some twos in the chat box so I can see, so I can know if you're quick enough. I can see there's 2 people based on my private messages. But yeah, so that would be a great sell to get in on, because as I said, we had those confirmations and I've put in those higher and lower zones as well. Okay, so just taking you through how you would usually take another trade. So that was a good setup. Once again, we're going to go to the 1 hour time frame. And we're only doing it on the 1 hour time frame now because we can see that it's a good setup in the 5 minutes. And where I change that line, so when you come on to your scanner, you will see that it's automatically on this kind of trend line. What you want to do is just hover next to the little line, and you can see it's got trend tools. So you want to now change it to horizontal ray or horizontal line, because either of the two are quite good. And based on these two, you're then able to put in straight lines. If you're a perfectionist, like a certain someone that's on this call as well. Okay, so you could put in horizontal ray, and you don't have to worry about if it's straight or not, because it puts it in for you. Okay, I'm also going to put one up here, and you do not need to go all the way back to price, because don't forget, this is all on a 1 hour time frame. That means each of these candlesticks you see are representative of 1 hour. There's no need for us to go back 20 hours to where price was. If you wanted to, you can, but don't forget, you want to be as close to where you're going to take price as possible. So I normally look back 6 candles or so, just the highest area that I can see. If this was my highest area and this wasn't, I would then mark up this area. So you can mark up zones however you see fit. But obviously, because price is here and this is the 1 hour time frame, this is where we're kind of looking. Okay. So now that I've marked up all these different highs and lows on the 1 hour time frame, I can then go to my 15-minute time frame. Okay. On my 15-minute time frame, I can see, let me just zoom out. There we go. So on my 15-minute time frame, once again, I can see that it's underneath the red cloud. So that's when we want to say, okay, that's one confirmation on the web slinger, because this is one of the strategies we're looking at right now. We can also see that the web strings, as I said, were spread apart. Based on the zones that we've marked up, this, you can see it broke out, came up, retested this area, and then it's come up again. So the likelihood is that it will retest on that 679 area that I mentioned and then continue to drop. So if you did get in at 679, as I mentioned, you should be in profits already. I know we've got 10 minutes left, but based on this zone, once again, as long as this doesn't close inside here, we are fine. Okay. And if we go to our 5-minute, so once you've done that, if there's any other areas of highs and lows that you would want to put in, you can also do that. Okay, so I can see that there's one here. And I can also see that there's another area here. And the purpose for us doing this, your fixed time was off. So your fixed time was off. So you can do fixed time on or fixed time off. Question. So you have a red cloud, I have a blue, and I don't know why. Really? Is this for AUD USD? Check that it's for AUD USD, Rachel. And check that it's on this AUD USD. So which is the one? I've clicked the first AUD USD in the pair that you can see. So as you can see, what it does is it always shows you what the previous calls were. So as you can see here, it was a sell before, and before that was a buy, and so on and so forth. So I've clicked on the most current one. And then also, so we've looked at our confirmation. The third other confirmation why we're going in for a sell is because we can see based on the currency strength. So as you can see that there's numbers here, you can see based on the currency strength that the USD or the US dollar is stronger. So you can see that the US dollar is at 51 and the AUD is at 27, showing that the AUD is weaker and we only want to sell. You're only going to be looking for sell opportunities. So these are the reasons why. It's a blue cloud on the 1 hour. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, so you're right. Yeah, so on the 1 hour, it's a blue cloud. All that means is it's by the time price. Don't forget, things will happen on the lower time frame first before they happen on the higher time frame. That's all. But yeah, we're looking on 15 minutes. So on the 15 minutes, you can see it's a red cloud, and on the 5 minutes, you can see it's a red cloud. Also, I'm sure if you drop to the lower time zones as well, you can see that it's kind of moving out of that area. Okay. So let's continue through. Let's go and look at a different currency pair. So once again, this strategy that we're looking at right now is called the web slinger. Reason why it's called the web slinger is because once these start to spread open, it does look like a web, and every single one of these lines are EMA lines actually. So let's go and look at another pair. I quite like USD JPY. So I'm going to show you that right now. So as you can see in this panel here, I do not see the currency that I may want. If that is the case, for you, then what you can do is just click here. So some people, they think they just need to delete the currency pair and then type in what they want. It's not going to come up. What you want to do is delete everything from this area, and then you can type in the currency pair that you want to look at. Okay, so I'll just do that again. So I'll just click something else. So to change the currency pair, if the currency pair you want to take a trade on is not in the algorithm panel, or the alert panel, you can change the currency by clicking in this area here and deleting everything here, and then typing in the currency pair that you want. Okay, based on that, it was once again start on 5 minutes just to look at which way the trend is going. This is a nice one as well. As you can see, it's just been going in for a buy. That obviously means, once again, the USD is stronger, like we already know. I wonder what the yen is. Let's see what the Japanese yen is. Is there a yen in here? So Japanese yen is 6. Look at that. The Japanese yen is 6. So obviously you only want to go in for a buy. So we can see that on the 5 minute. What do we now want to do? So now that we're on the 5 minute and we can see that's a good setup, what do we want to do now? If you could type that in the chat box. So what do we want to do now that we found a good setup? So go to the 1 hour and mark up. Thank you, Lola. Okay, so we go to the 1 hour and mark up. So we are here. This is where price currently is. As you can see that there's 31 minutes still left on this candle. So what I'm going to do is look at the low areas. So this was my last low. And the way I like to explain this, if I actually kind of color code this like the way Millie Mills does it, let's do it like this. As an example, is that a good zone or is this a good zone? Let's go for this zone. Okay, so you have your resistance and you have your floor. Okay, so your resistance is your ceiling and your support is your floor. Okay, so price went up, touched the ceiling, came back down, came back up to that same point, touched the ceiling, came back down. And eventually, like I said before, you normally see price, if you've ever kind of done the traditional Forex and looked at Manny Q, he explains trend lines. Price tends to touch things about 3 to 4 times before they break through. Okay, so I'm sure if we look further back, you can see that this is once, twice. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's the 3rd time it broke through. Okay, so we're looking at the blue candles, so that's going up. So 1, 2, 3, broke through. And as you can see, if this was the ceiling before and it's now broken through, guess what? This will now become the support. So this now becomes the support. It's like stairs. Okay, so we're just going to change that to a blue for you. Okay, now that you've done that, you can see that this is where price currently is. Okay, so that we can't put our next floor because we don't know how far price may go. But what you can do is also zoom back and zoom further out to see if there's any other areas or key areas of support of where price may get to before bouncing off. So based on that, because obviously you just want to see how far price may travel to. Okay, so I can see based on a line from here, this was a good resistance zone. If I zoom in here, this was a strong resistance zone for this area before it went on a downtrend. So price may return back to this zone. This is how I know. Okay, so once I've done that, you can see that that's at 897. Price is around 733. So price might get around there. But either way, we know we're only going in for buys anyway. Oh, you cleared it. Fantastic. So you cleared the trade. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so 1 hour time frame. We're now going to drop to the 15 minutes. Okay, now that you dropped onto the 15-minute time frame, I can feel a sneeze coming along. Okay. No, it's not coming. Okay, so now we're on the 15-minute time frame. We're looking at any other areas. So I can see there may be one. And the reason why I'm saying there may be one, I'm always looking for flat points. So any area where there was kind of like flat points tends to be another area where it may break up. They're what I call mini support and resistance zones. So what I tend to do, so I don't get confused, put this in. So the reason why, you can see it touched that, came down, touched it, and this then became the support area for this one. Oh, you cleared as well. Wow, people clearing on the session. I love it. I like that. Bonus, fantastic. You are welcome. Okay, so based on that, broken through, come back down. You can see on this area, this is another area of like a mini support. I may actually put this here. Why am I putting this one here? Remember what I told you about flat zone areas where they're equal? So I can see another equal area here, touched it, went up, came back down, touched it again, and it was touching this area for a while. So that's another area. Great. Love all the clears. Love all the clears. Let's go to 5-minute time frame. Let's zoom out so you can see really well. Okay, so this was the area that we just dropped. See, we've dropped to this 5-minute time frame. This served as that support area. You can see price kept coming to it and it's continued going up. So this one now, based on what we see, let's see, I would wait for this price to come down, and let's see where we could take a buy. I do not mean to be calling out trades, by the way. I'm just telling you so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, I would be waiting for this to come back down to this area. I'm just going to circle it so you can see where I'm referring to. Okay, so this is an equal zone. Remember what I told you about equal zones? I'm just going to make this a bit thicker as well so you can see. So this is another equal zone. So price will pull back down to where this equal zone is. So that price is at 722. You might want to get in at 72, what's that? 727, 725, because there's sometimes 5 points difference. Lola, call them out. Yeah, I'm sure you would say that, Lola. Oh gosh. Okay, so I wouldn't be like this if that didn't clear, by the way. I really wouldn't. So it would pull back down to this area at 722 or 725, 727, and then you could take a 10-minute buy. Okay. However, you do want to be careful. And the reason why I say that is if you look at where price is rejected off from, it's currently at that zone. Okay. So what I mean by that is where price currently is, price rejected off this zone and came back down. So we might see a reversal soon. So it might not be good to take a buy on this just yet. We're going to see what happens after this candle closes. So it's got 35 seconds before this closes. Okay. If price closes above this line that I've put in, then yes, we can continue with that 10-minute trade. If it doesn't, then we may see that price pulls to the downside a bit more first, maybe back to this zone. So this is the last low that it created, maybe back to this zone, which is at 704, before then taking off to the upside. Okay, so it all depends on this candle. And this is why we wait. Some people are very eager to jump into trades. You just need to sometimes watch. It doesn't matter if you miss a trade. It's okay. Okay, cool. So the next candle is coming through. I don't trust these sorts of things. You always want to wait first because sometimes you might see this is the shadow of price before it pulls to the downside. Either way, you will still be able to get in at 729 for a buy at least, which is the same area that I called out to you earlier. So I said 725 before, 727. So either of those areas, you can still get in for a buy. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions based on the web slinger that we've just covered? So any questions on this? Any questions on this area? If you are all good on this web slinger, type some 3s in the chat box. So if you're all clear, everything's making sense, you have no questions whatsoever, type some 3s in the chat box. There's my husband. My husband's on this session. Thank you, my husband, my dear husband. Oh. Great. So everyone is following. Great. Okay. So what we're going to do now is go straight on to thank you, Tammy. Oh gosh. It's being recorded. I can only say so much. So I'm going to go to Simple Scalper 2.0. I am recording it. Yeah. So I'm going to go to Simple Scalper 2.0. So this is the other strategy. Now, don't forget, with your HFX package, you have, everyone's making me laugh. You need to do one just Thank you, Nee. Thank you. I will think about it. I will think about it. So as you can see, based on your HFX package, okay, so if you go back to your products, you've got all of these to choose from. Now, Hourglass is great. If you are a person that likes to be in short trades, great package or great add-on to have as well. So this is the scanner that Matthew Thayer uses. I only use this one in the evenings. I just think it works much better. Liberty I use throughout the day. And so, as I said before, this is the Liberty scanner. However, you've got different strategies within the actual Liberty itself. So what we just looked at was the Webslinger, and the next one I'm coming on to is the Simple Scalper 2.0. Okay, this is best used in a consolidation market. So for those that are new, so consolidation means that the market is moving sideways, which is what we're going to see right now. So I'm going to point out an area. So I'll just circle it up. So this is an area of consolidation. Why is this an area of consolidation? Because it is moving sideways. All it's doing is bouncing around within this square zone before it broke down to the upside and formed another area, which you can see, another mini area of consolidation. Okay, so you do find this is good in a trending market and as well as consolidation. So if you find any consolidation zones, no, this is in a 1 hour, you can use that as well. Okay, so let's go and look at how you mark this up. Okay, what you want to do is follow from the bottom. Okay, so let's go and get my vertical line in. Let's get the vertical line in. Okay, so you've got the red clouds. This is actually not even a cloud. This is called the Elliott waves. The clouds that we saw before are called Ichimoku clouds. If anyone's ever looked at pivots on traditional Forex, it's the same sort of indicator. So what we see here are called Elliott waves. Okay, based on these Elliott waves, you can go in for different entry points. Obviously, you're not doing this on a 1 hour time frame. Let me drop to the actual time frame you take a trade on. Okay, so 5 minutes. So we're currently where the blue cloud is. And you're going to be looking at where this all kind of matches up and tallies up. So we can see blue Elliott wave with a blue line cutting through. I'm going to mark that up here. So that's one checkpoint. We've got a blue line. So this is called a histogram. These are all called histograms. So if it's blue, obviously it's another indication for a buy. If it's gray, it means that there's no clear indication as to which way price is moving. So it may be that it's in a bit of a pullback, or yeah, it's not clear. So that's when you'll see the gray. And obviously if it's red, it's an indication for a sell. Okay, so we have another blue zone here. So that's another confirmation we're ticking off. So we've got 1, 2 confirmations ticked off. And then our third confirmation is, do we have a blue candle here? Okay, so do we have a blue candle in this area? That's our third confirmation, but you want at least 4. And the reason why I say you want at least 4 is because on this candle, you should also have a parabolic dot. So I'm going to just make that darker like I did before. There we go. That makes it a bit easier to see. So you can see that there's a little dot underneath each candlestick. So when you have a dot, a parabolic dot underneath the candle, it means that it's carrying that market up. So if you can imagine this being the candle and this is the dot, so it's carrying it on the upside. And if you have that parabolic dot on top, it means that it's actually pushing it down. Okay, depending on where it is, but you've got 2 other areas to kind of look at as an indicator as to which way the market is going. So based on this, I wouldn't be going in for a buy of 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Why? Because the parabolic dot is on top and it's also right next to this Bollinger Band. So I've not got 3 confirmations at all. So what I would do is look to see if I can find any other indications to let me get in on a different trade or to go in at reversal points. So like I said, this is another tip. I gave this last week. When you find a doji candle, let me zoom, that's a terrible circle. There we go. Okay, so when you find a doji candle, let's try and see if I can make it wider. Okay, this is a doji, this is an example of a dragonfly or doji candle, whichever one you want to call it. Okay, this means it's an indecisive candle. You can see that it hasn't got much body to it. It hasn't got much of a blue, hasn't got much of a red. That is also an indicator where there may be signs of reversal when it's indecisive. Okay, so I'd be waiting to see this candle. Obviously, you can see that the dot is underneath. When this is forming, this parabolic dot will be on top. and it's also next to the Bollinger Band. So I'll be looking to just sell. Short time frame. I would not be going in for a long time frame. Okay, you can see that a buy has been called on this, but based on this area, I would only want to enter in for a buy when it's nearer the EMA, because don't forget, when it's near the EMA line, when I say EMA line, I'm just going to draw that in for you. When it's near the EMA line, like it is here, let's make this thick. This means this is like another, remember I said earlier that it acts as a mini area of support. This is like another mini area of support. So you can see once price broke through here on this side, it came down, and as you can see, it bounced off the EMA, came up, bounced off the EMA, and then continued. This area serves as that support. So what I would be waiting for is for price to pull down to at least this 867 area. And I know it seems like a long way, but it's not. Patience pays. I would wait for a pullback to this area or lower or around this price at least before going in for a buy. Okay. And don't forget, anytime it's next to the red Bollinger Band, you can see that there may be a reversal. So same example here. Okay. We're near the blue Bollinger Band. That means at any time you can see that it will bounce off. So I would, on a red candle, I might want to get in for a few minutes sell, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go past where you've entered. So let's say, for example, I've entered in on a trade. There'd be no, let me click out of this. I have to go back in to see where I was talking about. Let me line that up first so I can stay on the same point. So I was talking about this area. There we go. So there'd be no reason why I would enter in on this trade, because does everything match up? So based on this line here that I've lined up for you, just type in the chat box, does this match up? Yes or no? So does this all match up for a buy or a sell? No, it doesn't. Thank you, Natalie. Okay, so this doesn't match up. Why? Although we've got a red line on the outside of a blue cloud, this shows, especially when you've got a blue cloud, I don't know if you could, let me zoom into this so you can analyze it a bit better. You can see that you've got a blue Elliott wave or blue cloud, whichever one you want to call it, with a blue line cutting through. This is a clear indication that the momentum of a buy. When you see that a red line now starts to appear near a blue cloud, it's another clear indication that there is a reversal. There is going to be a reversal. So I can see based on this, let me just line where that started to happen, because you wouldn't have seen it right there. You would have probably seen it around here by the time price closes. Okay, so we started with the blue and it's then came out as a red. So let's just see where that is. Okay, so you can see that started as a red. And as you can see, price started to push up a little bit before continuing on a down trend. So from here, price then continued to do what? Go in a downtrend. So this is how you can spot areas of the reversal. So if you are taking trades and the moment you get in, it then starts on a reversal, is because you're not looking at where price is. So it may be that one. It may be that you are taking them at close pivotal zones. So when I say that, I mean, let's go into this bit. What I mean by that is, I can drag it even further back if I really wanted to. So what I mean by that is, this is like a serving area of support and resistance. Some people don't mark up, you know, some people do not mark up. So based, because on what they're only going by what they think they see. You know, like when you're reading, I don't know if anyone remembers this, or when you're reading books, I'm using this as an example because some of my children used to do it when they were learning to read. When you're reading, you think you see a word, so you just place whatever you think you saw in it. This is the same as when you look at the chart. It's important that you do your marking up. Oh, you cleared the second trade. I've just seen that. Nice one. I like that. Well done. Like that. So you can see as you take the trade, it's important that you mark up so you know where market's moving. It's not good enough to kind of just zoom out and be like, oh, do you know what? I can see an uptrend. So, you know, I'm only going to take buys or sells. No. You need to get in at good points, because this is when you start taking risks. So you might be only 50% profitable, The whole point with HFX is to be profitable, to learn and master the skill, and for you to be at least 70% profitable. Because when you are 70% profitable, it means you're making good profit. If you're not 70% profitable, you know, then this is when we have a few areas or miss a few mishaps. Okay. In comparison to, you know, this is the 2.0 for Simple Scalper, as you can see. In comparison to the first Simple Scalper, because this is the one, Millie Mills. So if anyone's done the training for Millie Mills, which is in her favorite sessions, I will show you where that is as well. I did show this last week. She sometimes does, you know, I know she's been using Webslinger a lot now. She also does teach how to use the Simple Scalper, you know, and the great thing about the Simple Scalper is, yes, it was the original, but there's a few more confirmations for you to look through. Okay, so if you were going to go in for a buy, I'm just going to go to a gray area that I can see a buy. Here's a good area. Okay, so what you are looking for, let me do my lines, is to see, let me zoom in. This will be a bit easier for you to understand. I know this looks really wiggly, and this is why a lot of people, you know, some people like it, some people don't. You are waiting to see this line break out of this line here. So as you can see this line here, let me do my little arrow. Okay, so this line here, you're looking for it to break out and then re-break. So break out and re-break. When it breaks back through this zone, then you can enter in for a buy. You can then enter in, don't ask me about these wonky lines, but you can ask, you know, you can then enter in for a buy. That's a good area to enter in for a buy. So based on what I saw, where I marked up, I would have entered in for a buy. Let me go back to this and mark it up so I'm not misleading anyone. Where have my lines gone? It's disappeared. Great. Anyway, let me find a point based on what I see. Let me find a good point. Right, so this is a good point. So I'm just going to mark this up here. So that will be nice and clear for everyone to see. Let's mark up between these two areas. Okay, so let's go and look. Okay, so based on what I saw here, it broke. I would have been getting ready and waiting for confirmation for a buy, and it re-broke. So exactly where I drew this other line, okay? My other confirmations that I'll be looking for based on this 1.0 scanner, sorry, the original Simple Scalper, is this volume bar, so this is a volume bar that you see, is this volume bar blue? Yes, it is. Has this broken through this line as well? Yes, it has. So we would go in for 5-minute or 10-minute trade. I know this is on a 1-hour time frame, but the same principle still applies. Okay, so you'd be waiting for it to break and re-break. Now, as you can see, it's a lot more indicators for you to look at to be able to go in for a trade. Some people do still prefer this, hence the reason why it's still there. So if you notice, there's no original pickpocket or original web slinger, but there's an original Simple Scalper. So some people do still prefer the way it works and everything. And obviously now I always think the second version is always better. I just like color codes. You know, it's nice and easy to kind of line things up. Is it going to be a buy? Is it going to be a sell and go in? I also did say this last week as well. So if you wanted to add on another indicator, okay, so let's say, for example, this is all great, but you want another indicator. Maybe you like the indicator that we just saw in the original Simple Scalper. You can add this on. Okay, so if you click indicators here, this is the great thing about having access to the IM Mastery Academy. You know, if you were to go and get a trading view account outside, obviously you get the free version, you can only add on to up to 3 indicators. So you can only add on 3 indicators. So for example, you would only be able to add on maybe this Bollinger Band, 1, the parabolic dots, 2, and I don't know, maybe the histogram, that's it. You know, whereas with this, you can add on as many indicators as you want. So for example, if you want to do RSI, which is for relative strength index, you can do that. You can double click to, you know, change the style, you know, how you want it to be plotted, etc. So, you know, you could change lots of things. So just kind of work through what works for you. Maybe there are certain indicators, or maybe there's something that you really like on one of the other strategies that you've seen. Okay, if I didn't want that indicator, I can remove that as well. If I wanted to add in, I'm trying to think of another indicator. What can I think of? Let's say, for example, volume bars. So like we just saw on the other one. So volume bar, okay. And obviously you could change, you see we've got the volume bar, exactly like we just had on the other Simple Scalper, the original Simple Scalper. And once again, you can change the colors to match everything up. Ta-da! See? So you really do have a benefit of kind of saving what works for you. And all you have to do to make sure that you don't have to do this every single time you log in, you just click this arrow, click save, name the chart, and then every time you make any change, just click the little save button. Okay, so you can adapt to that as you go through. If that has made lots of sense, can you type some 3s in the chat box? Let me just see what questions I've missed so far. So can you use Hourglass if you're on HFX? So yes, you can use Hourglass if you're on HFX. However, it's an add-on. So I think it's about $12.95, something around that price. I've got the Elite package, so I have everything. So I don't know the exact price is just for Hourglass, but I'm sure it's only about $12.94 or £12, which you can add on through your back office. Yep, seen that message. I've done that one. So which educator do you follow to continue to build understanding of this strategy? Right. Great people to follow, which I always say they're very underrated. Very, very underrated. Just going to log into them to show you now. Is Dr. Josh Lee and Brandon Boyd. Why do I say that? Now, number one, they do not take trades. They only teach. And the funny thing is, a lot of people are just like, oh, you want to make money. You're just thinking about the money aspects, trading live with the educators. But if you really do want to learn how to do this by yourself, you do need to plug into education. And there's no shortcuts to success, you know? So as you can see here, Dr. Josh Lee and Brandon Boyd mastered the skill. If you click on them, you do not have to go through every single one of their videos, but you know, you can log on live. They are live every single day. If you only wanted specific videos related to the strategy you want to learn, make sure you have a specific notepad. Like I always have mine. Maybe it's that I want to be able to take market execution trades or risk management or whatever it is. Maybe I want to understand the institutional candle, whatever it is, you could just type it in here. So we've just looked at Webslinger. So you can see here, I've just typed in web. If I just type in web, you can see that they've done a video on the 12th of March talking about cash trap, Webslinger, pickpocket, etc. If I wanted to find out about, trying to think about something, entry points. Okay, so let's say entry points. There's an abundance of, let me just type in entry points. You can see that there's an abundance of videos based on entry points or trade entries, etc. in the market. You see, if I wanted to talk about anything, just whatever you decide that you want to kind of look through, it's there. Okay, so it's there for you to watch. They are very underrated. And the reason why I say they're underrated is because people want to, as I said, they want to jump into making money, but they don't want to learn, and then got frustrated because they're not learning quick enough. They expect to learn on the trading sessions, but don't forget, people, these educators are only there for an hour to call out trades. Most of the time you get about 3 trades, whereas they spend an hour actually teaching. So even if you decided that you're going to do at least 2 days a week, you don't have to be live with them. You can watch recorded sessions. Just plug in. That there's no shortcut to this at all. Yep, so that's that from me. Thank you, Toya. Thank you. Is it best to focus on one currency pair or scan the market for different opportunities? So if you can focus on one currency pair, you will get to know that pair and how it moves really well. They normally say between 1 and 2. I say 1 and 2 as a starting point. However, for myself, I tend to go, I do like certain pairs. There's certain pairs that I just do not trade, but I tend to go for the trades that have higher payout rates. That's just me. Because, I might really like EUR USD, but what if I go onto my broker and my broker's only paying out 61%? To me, that's not worth me taking the trade on. However, it varies for some people. Some people are happy to do that. They want to just stick to 2 currency pairs and that's it. If that is you, that is fine. You can certainly do that. Because I think, Natalie, you liked NZD USD. It behaves itself very well. You know, so if that's the currency pair that you tend to like, stick to it because you get to know how it moves. All currencies move differently. It's just like, for example, if we're going to go and look at gold, if you wanted to trade gold, okay, we've got silver. Okay, so XAG USD. The way gold moves and the way silver moves will be different to the way currencies move. So just finding what works for you. You can focus on 1 to 2 currency pairs. I wouldn't say just one solely, maybe 1 or 2, if that's something that you would prefer to do instead of scanning the market, because sometimes you find by the time you've looked at one currency pair and it's not quite ready, by the time you've gone scanning through and you know that one's gone to the zone you were waiting for originally. So yeah, that's my take on it. Do you pay for your trading view? So yeah, I pay for my trading view. I pay for my trading view. So as I mentioned before, you have free. So you can go on here and get the free version, but the free version of TradingView. And what TradingView is, just to kind of clarify and make things clear, what TradingView is just a platform where you can mark up charts. Okay, as you can see, I've done the Venom training as well. So I've got the Venom indicator, and as you can see, I've got 10 different indicators on here. Okay, so you can see I've got 10 different indicators shown. Okay, but if you go for the free one, you can only put on 3 maximum. If you're not paying for it, you can only put on 3 maximum. But guess what? You don't have to. You can use and utilize Liberty right here. Obviously, I can't put Venom on here, you know. But if you're going to get Venom or you're going to plug in to be able to trade with the bullish bears, you can get the free one, sign up to their website, and then be able to use their indicator, which is obviously exclusive to our organization specifically. Okay. Any more questions? Oh, $22. Thank you. Yeah, so I like that. Abby said it should be on Netflix, definitely. So Dr. Josh Lee and Brandon Boyd, you know, cut down, and everyone loves their chill time. But if I said to you, next year you could be a 6-figure earner, all you need to do is this, you will sacrifice it. But you know, some people are in and out. They think they're plugging in the right way, but if you were to compare the way you plug in into someone else, are you really plugging in? It's the way I want to phrase that question. Can you use Hourglass? Yes, I've answered that one. So the recording I will make available straight after this session. Straight after this session, I'll make it available. Yeah, that's it. Where will you be doing any more sessions? Oh, thank you, Natalie. I will continue doing training. I will continue doing the training every Tuesday. And yeah, you know, I will be doing a HFX support group for those in my team. I will see how many will be attending, and then I'll probably see if I can open it up. If there is enough space, I'll open it up to the rest of the HFX community group. Can you send the link? Yes, I can send you that. Thank you for reminding me. Let's do that now. Let's pause my screen. Why is that not happening? Maybe I should just type it in here. So HFX, updated schedule. Will it paste? No, it won't. Let's try again. Nope, it's not dragging over for whatever reason. I'm not too sure. But what I'll do is instead, I'll send it into the HFX Telegram group. Are you in the HFX Telegram group, Natasha? Yeah, okay, so I'll send it into the Telegram group. But I hope you've really enjoyed this session. I hope it's been really useful for you. If you do have any questions, you can unmute yourself to ask me if there's something you want me to kind of just clarify or go over again. If there is, please do let me know, type it in the chat box. But other than that, I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you have an enjoyable rest of the week. Well done to those that have cleared trades on this call. You're not in the Telegram group. Okay. Let me kind of copy that for you.
Sorry, can I just ask a question? Sorry, I missed it because I was dealing with the children. I asked about the hourglass. That's why, and then I asked again. I wasn't sure if you could have hourglass if you were in HFX or not.
Yeah, so if you are just on the HFX package, you would need, I think I did answer it right at the top. I was saying that you need to have it as an add-on. So
right.
if you've just got HFX by itself, then you would need it as an additional add-on. If you have the elite package and have everything, then it's all included. It's all included for you.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Right, I'm just copying this so I can paste it in. So I can do that from my phone. So that is the link for the Telegram group. Yep, so that's the link for the Telegram group. I've just sent that into the chat box. So if you are not part of the Telegram group, just copy the link, paste it in your notes, and then add yourself to it. Because that's where I post the trading videos, anything HFX related. And once again, if you haven't connected with me already, you can do so online, because obviously it's nice to share and connect with one another as well. So I'll just show my link and my Instagram handle for that. I know not everyone is on Instagram, but that is fine. So if you want to connect with me, this is my Instagram handle. But other than that, I hope you've had a fantastic evening, and I will see you again next week, same time. Have a good evening, everyone. Take care.